What's going on, everybody? Future me. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the amazing Bambu Labs X1 Carbon with the AMS I got last Friday. And we're going to be talking about Spaghet filament from TH3D. More right after this. You're not going to want to miss it. There's a lot of really cool prints. So please stay tuned. You're going to love it. Thank you. What's going on, everybody? Jerry with 3DHP, and I've got the new X1 Carbon, and it is amazing. And no, they didn't send it to me for free. Yes, it cost money. Yes, it was expensive, and it's really cool. I've been having a blast with it day after day after day. I've had it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days now. I've done a live stream on it, and yeah, my lighting was kind of screwed up. My video was glitching, but I plan on doing tons and tons of videos on this, and I've got the AMS unit. And Tim from TH3D was nice enough to send me out some Spaghet filament. And he sent me out a roll of their Easy Choice filament, which is kind of a tannin color, like a flesh tone, which I have in the roll right now. And I'll show you some amazing prints that I've done with that. But the purpose of this video today is to talk about his Spaghet filament. And the roll he sent me out, it's kind of a, I think it's a dual color. It might be a tricolor. I see green and purple. I'll open it up here in a minute and I'll check it, but I see a green and a purple. And it's a matte magic color is what it says on it. Oh, it's a purple, red, green. I'm sorry. It's right on the pack. I didn't read it. It's a purple, red / green. So we're going to print some really cool stuff with it. I got a few things my wife would like, and we're going to get that done. And with every order from TH3D, which is a mom and pop shop here in the USA, you get Smarties. And you get a little card with some information on it. It's got print temperatures. And it talks about their website a little bit and where you can go to get help with different things. And a sticker. So I got a sticker too. Actually, there were 2 stickers. Got a small one here. TH3D. So I really appreciate Tim sending this out to us. TH3D is a great company. I've been an affiliate with them for quite some time. And yeah, let's do some cool prints. Let's try out the color. Let's take a look at it real quick. See what we got here. But yeah, you can catch it on camera, but it's nice. It's a nice looking color. They've got many different colors on their website and many different types of filament along with parts for your 3D printers. Tim basically does videos constantly. He's tearing down printers. He's finding out the good and bad points with them, upgrading them, and letting you know, helping you with any of your problems. So please check out TH3D on YouTube. Check out their website, th3d.com, and let's start printing with some filament. Hey guys, throughout this video, I say Spaghet. It's not, it's Spaghet. So, bear with me. I keep misreading the box, and I was reminded that it's Spaghet. Not right now, but I was reminded like a week ago. It's not Spaghet, it's Spaghet. Spaghet filament. welcome back. I hope you like the cool time lapses. The Bambu Labs does a great job on time lapses, and it's been a great printer. And I'm not a Bambu Labs fanboy. Well, maybe I am. I've had it for a week now, and it's just been banging out some really great prints. I've been very happy with it. And as far as for the TH3D filament, the Spaghet that I have here, it's in a cardboard spool. It had a slight dent in it right here, and it done fine until it got really low, and then the spool got light. Once it got really low and light, the Bambu Labs occasionally was throwing in air that the film was possibly getting tangled or jamming, and I checked it, it was fine. I restarted the print, done that a few times, and then it kept having an error occasionally where it was pausing the machine. So, like I say, it's almost down to nothing. So I went ahead and I swapped it out, and I went back and I used their tan. I believe it's a tan. Let me look at the box here. It's their nude. It's their Easy Choice filament. It's color in the nude is what it's called. And I went back and changed that. And one thing I wanted to show you on the nude color, I did this a few days ago. I got this file, I think it was all printables. It's real thin, it's a Betty Boop, it's like 5 layers thick. And I went and I'm using Ziltech filament, and then all this, what looks like in the nude color, the plush color, that's the Easy Flex filament from TH3D. But that came out really nice. Hopefully the camera can pick that up really good. But the color printed really nice. And I just downloaded the file, I went into Bambu Lab Studio, and I picked what I wanted to make, what colors, and out of the 4 colors it came out great. And my wife wanted a rope bowl. She had seen this really cool rope bowl online, and I haven't cleaned it up. As you can see, it has a little fur in there. I need to take a heat gun, and all those little tiny like cobwebs will go away real quickly. You can either pick them out or just take a heat gun and they go away quickly. I did put a brim on it. So I took my brim tool and I went around and tried to cut all that off, but look at that color. Look at how that changes. That is really beautiful film. It's kind of a green and a purple. And as the light hits it, it's just changing. Beautiful filament. And this was done at 100% scale as it was designed. And it was done on the textured PEI, so it has a really nice bottom on it. And whenever you use a textured PEI that you buy from Bambu, you've got to leave the door cracked open on PLA so you don't get a clog or a jam. When you use a cool plate, that's not necessary. You're using glue stick on a cool plate, it's not heated, you can have it closed. Once you have the door cracked open just slightly, it does make it a little bit louder. The machine isn't dead quiet, but it's not as noisy as I thought it would be before I bought it. It does make noise, but it's not too bad. And leaving the door open just a hair, you know, that makes it a little louder. I crack it about 1 inch when I'm printing with the textured PEI. But that came out really nice. And then from Clock Spring, I see my friend Tripod's Garage was printing one of these really big and pink off another printer. It's like, wow, that's really cool. Let me go check that out from Clock Spring. So I got this little box here that heart box that I done. And it's done in the Spaghet filament, which is that purple green. And you kind of turn it and you unlock it. Check that out. Really cool. I didn't scale this up any. I downloaded it. I paid for the file, downloaded it, and dropped it in the Bambu Lab Studio. And it printed perfect. There's a couple tiny little wisps here and there, but it came out perfect. It's not screwed up at all. And right off the print bed, it just worked. I didn't have to force anything. Everything just worked. It was all printed, print in place, one piece. It folded right up and cranked up. But yeah, that's amazing. I'll put links down in the description if I remember to where you can find all this stuff out if you guys already haven't seen it. You know, you can go over to My Mini Factory, look up Clock Spring, it'll show all his different work. And if you don't join his Patreon, then you can go ahead and just buy the files individually, and that's usually what I do. Because different videos, I'm always downloading different things. But very, very pretty. Beautiful filament from TH3D. And their Spaghet filament. And then a few years ago, from Clock Spring also, I printed this phone stand. And I've done this twice, but all these honeycombs in the past screwed up on me. I made one for myself and one for my wife, and a bunch of them were tore up. So I found the file on my hard drive, and I reprinted it. Prints in place. It folds open. Let me uncrank it for you here. I'll show it to you. But it printed in one piece, prints in place, came out perfect. It prints just like this. Came out perfect. I took it off the build plate. Now this I didn't use a brim on. I didn't want to have to mess with trying to cut it off on everything. So I printed it just like that. Took it off build plate, put the little bolt in, crank it up. You can set your cell phone on there. Kind of reminds me of Frankenstein's monster, the operating chair, you know, that the monster was on. But yeah, and see it's got a few little wisps right here I didn't take off of it. Heat gun will take that right up. Just take a heat gun to it. Don't get too close to your model with the heat gun and they'll just disappear. But yeah, really, really beautiful filament. Bambu Lab, superb job on this X1 Carbon. So, and the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon was not sent to me free of charge. I did buy it, and I did get a lot of donations from makers online that donated to me to help me buy it, and I sold a lot of printers, sold a couple resin printers, sold some lasers. Took all that money, got a Discover card that I couldn't afford, and went and bought it. And I'm glad I did. It's really a nice little printer. It's doing a beautiful job. Okay, now you jump off camera here for a second. A lot of you guys have seen on my live stream when I show you this, right? I know everybody's seen this, like, wow, that's cool. Well, I went on Amazon, you order these half shell eyes, and you hot glue them in. I printed this on the Tivo Tarantula Pro with, I don't know, I think it was like Arion rainbow filament 2 or 3 years ago. And really cool. So I went and found the file again over on Thingiverse. And I wanted to do another one in Tim's filament. Check this out. That looks amazing. Now, yeah, I got the one I glued in slightly crooked, but I just kind of held them in place. I got a bamboo stick out of the cupboard, you know, like a skewer. I stuck it in from the back to try to adjust it, to tilt it just right, and then I hot glued it in a couple spots on each eye. And I should have used supports on this, because underneath these cheekbones I didn't have any supports on this whatsoever. I had it on a real thin wrap, and I should have used supports. I had some stringing down here, as you've seen in the time lapse. You've seen some strings hanging down. I've clipped all those off, but as far as for the quality of the color, that's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. And occasionally you'll catch my eyes. I'm looking at my image in the little screen to see where I'm at on camera. I should be looking straight ahead at the camera, looking at everybody. But yeah, came out beautiful. And that's at 200%. I cranked it up to 200%. Like I say, you can get the half shells over on Amazon. Look up fake eyes, I think it is. I'm not really sure what I looked, but I bought them quite a while back. But yeah, beautiful. And I did not clean up the stringing on this. I did not take a heat gun to it. So you can see some few wisps here and there. The only thing as I did is I took my little blue side cutters and I cleaned off the excess stringing that was up underneath these jawbones. But as far as for any wisps, I didn't clean those off yet with a heat gun. It's almost perfect. Beautiful. And then I see Nico had a post online. Nico has this poison bottle he did. I'm like, well, that's cool. So I went over to Nico's site and I bought the file for $8. Check this out. Yeah, I ran out of filament. Like I was talking to you a minute ago about the filament jumping around on me and getting really low on the spool, I went ahead and I moved the filament I had in slot 4 over to slot 1, and I done in the nude filament from TH3D, this other half. Came out really cool. Basically what you do, the tolerances are really loose when you get it tight. Now I did put a brim on this, and I pulled off the brim by hand, but I still got to clean up the edges just a little bit on the very bottom. It printed in place like this, as you've seen in the video. Take your frosty beverage, whatever that might be. You drop it in there, screw the lid on, pop the cap, take a drink. Now, when I put it on and screwed it down, that Seagram's lid is getting stuck right there. It won't pop all the way through. So, to do this the easy way, let's take the cap off first. And my son, I'm probably going to print some of these for my son also. I can do them in multicolor. I can maybe do like a red one for him, or do it in black, and then I can make the skull in red. You know, go to Bambu Studio, you just pick out whatever you want to color anything. Let's screw this on. I'm going the right way. Oh, you go counterclockwise. Okay. Spin it on counterclockwise. Yeah, see, it's a little tight on the neck. I can't get it all the way tight. Well, yeah, almost. It's got a gap on it. That neck on that bottle, I'm going to have to open that up just a hair, but yeah, it's just a little bit tight. Now the neck's going to be stuck in there, so there we go. Yeah, on this particular bottle, in the video, he was using Mike's Hard Lemonade, I think. Maybe the Seagram's bottle. It's just a hair different. It's just a little bit tight. But yeah, it's a cool file. And like I say, you put whatever your favorite beverage is in there, in a bottle that fits it properly. once you get it completely tight, see it's got a little bit of a gap, you can go just a hair more and it'll snug it up. So the tolerance is just a hair off, but it's cool. That's very cool, very neat. So just have whatever beverage and chug a lug away. So really happy with it. It's like you see a few wisps on it. I didn't clean it off, but it came out amazing. Very cool. And also I had, this is what, when I first got the printer, that's my dog outside barking at nothing. I got this box over off of Printables. And my friend Saganaki here in Vegas remixed the box and he put a Bambu Lab logo on it. Came out very cool. And right here, when I took the bottom half off the flex plate, it popped off on the floor. And I broke one of these tabs. So I took a Ziltech 3D pen that I had, which I've never used. It's been sitting around with dust on it for years. Took it out of its package, put some filament in it, and then I glued over top of where that bolt goes right there to make it look more complete. That's a cool little box, to put stuff in. I'm sure you could print little trays to put in it. And the bolts, I don't remember how big they were, but all you need to do is supply the little bolts to put in it after you print it. Now this one here, he redesigned me a logo in Tinkercad of 3D HP that I'm going to reprint a lid for this one. This one also came off Printables by another designer. And I got lots of Bambu Lab parts in here. I ordered a lot of extra parts, and the machine comes with extra parts. And that's really cool. And that's in a, I'm not sure what color filament that is, but this video today is primarily talking about TH3D's filament that they sent out to me. But yeah, it's a cool little machine. Now, one thing about these rollers, when I first put filament in it, I noticed that the roll didn't spin real easy. So you got to kind of adjust your roll to make sure you feel it on the rollers itself. You can put the roll in before you feed the filament. You can move it back and forth, and you can feel it spinning on the bearings basically. You can feel it rolling. If you get it a hair off, it's still sitting in there, but it's not spinning freely. So be sure when you put your filament in that you got it lined up right on the rollers. Then you'll press that lever in the front and you'll feed your filament in, and then the machine automatically grabs it and goes from there. But it's working amazingly well. It hasn't broke down on me. The only problems, like I said, is that when I was getting some under extrusion on the model, it thought that it was maybe a spaghetti detection. Oh yeah, and when I sliced one of these boxes initially, I forget what happened. I forget what I'd done wrong on the slicer, but it wasn't printing quite right. I left the room, I came back, Spaghetti Detective popped up. It said, hey, I think we've got a problem. Do you want to continue? And no, it did have a problem. It made a little bit of a mess, but it paused itself and waited for me to correct it or reprint it. So that was a very cool feature. That's working great. Anybody out there that's having trouble with your X1 Carbon, I don't know what's up, but it's been working perfect. I don't know of all the differences that maybe they've done to this unit over prior units, but I do know that the big fan that's on the side, it just doesn't have self-adhesive sticky tape on the back. This one actually has little studs that are mounted to the case with little bolts holding the big fan in. So that's a nice addition. And let's see, I wiped down the rods the other day on it. While they were in the back in the corner, I wiped down the rods. I didn't loosen up the belts. I just wiped down what I could get to. I do not spray IPA directly on anything, so I don't want to dry out the belts. It doesn't do any good. I took a blue shop towel, paper towel basically. I sprayed the IPA on that, and then I wiped down what I could. As soon as I started the printer back up again, it had an error about the front cover was off. But I didn't take off the front cover, so maybe I tripped a sensor. So I took off the cover, put it back on. It's not held on with magnets, and then it started working perfectly fine. So, but yeah, other than that, it's been working great. I plan to do a lot more videos on it, but so far so good. It's working great. I love the little thing. I hope my camera quality is better. I've got a new camera, DSLR, that I've been filming with for a while, usually doing resin lapses, and I didn't have it set at 1080p mode, so now it's like 1980 by 1020, 1080p, so hopefully my video quality is better. I have one overhead LED light that I've got a starship in the way blocking it, then I've got one box light behind me, so I'm not going to be washed out and too bright. Hopefully the video quality is good and sounds good. But yeah, Easy Choice Filament from TH3D. Great stuff. And then the Spaghet filament that he sent me out. And the color on this is called, oh, Bernie the Dino. I I'm calling it a purple green. It's Bernie the Dino. So that's what this is. Great filament. It prints really great. It's a beautiful color, you know. Hi. Please like, subscribe, and share. Anyway, until the next one, guys, thank you. You have an awesome day, and let's go print some cool stuff. Thank you. Later.